Thank you so much. I'm Brendan Wilds. I'm here representing Andy Thorburn tonight. He apologizes that he couldn't make it. He had another scheduled conflict, so that's why I'm here tonight. You know, before I came here, though, he called me on the phone. He wanted me to make sure that I cover a couple points that I think we're all pretty much in agreement with here, but he said these are the things that are important to him and that he's going to make an issue in his campaign. So when it comes to the environment, first and foremost, we need to rejoin the Paris Accords. And even if we can't do that, there are still things that Congress can do which can bring us up to the terms and provisions that the Accords require. And if in Congress, Andy will be fighting for those types of regulations. Another thing that he wants to fight for is to set a deadline to end the sale and manufacture of combustion engines within the United States. Now, this is something that England and France have already done, and it's a deadline that we'd like to join them with. When it comes to solar, we need to continue subsidizing solar in order to encourage the promotion and competition of solar when it comes to solar versus the oil and gas companies. And in fact, in addition to subsidizing it, it seems that with what Elon Musk has said, solar can still compete and win if we were to remove subsidies from solar, but also remove subsidies from the oil and gas industry. And that is another position that Andy supports. As we've seen with Trump being in office already, there's 25 regulations that the EPA has rescinded. This was in the New York Times just today. He's already rescinded a rule that would require the oil and gas companies to report their greenhouse gas emissions. He has removed the requirement to consider greenhouse gases in environmental reviews with the EPA. He's also removed the ban on offshore drilling, not only in the Arctic Ocean, but also off the Atlantic Ocean. And two more, I would say, very crucial fights that I thought were behind us, but are not. He's went ahead and said that we will be building the Keystone Pipeline and the Dakota Access Pipeline. And Andy Thorburn just thinks that that is not right. We need to get ourselves off oil and gas, and we need to keep that in the ground. Now, one of the other major things that it comes with protecting our environment is removing the connection between big money in politics and the way that that influences our congressional representatives. And if you look at, for instance, Ryan Zinke, Secretary of the Interior, he's received more than $400,000 from contributions from the oil and gas industry. If you look at Scott Pruitt, he's also received $400,000 from the oil and gas industry, and people are saying that he's allowed lobbyists directly into his office to help write those regulations. And to follow that up, Rick Perry, Secretary of Energy, in his 3 terms as being elected governor of Texas, has received $10 million from the oil and gas industry. Andy Thorburn is a candidate in this race who will be accepting no money from the oil and gas industry. He has proudly signed a pledge saying that he will not do that. It's on our Twitter account. I posted it on the Facebook event. You can see it for yourself, and that's not something that we'll be going back on. If you look at Ed Royce, the candidate that we're running against, he's received $62,000 from the oil and gas industry in this last campaign. That's not a lot of money, but it is enough to earn him a 5% score from the League of Conservation Voters. Now, with my last little bit of time about Andy Thorburn, I just want to say he's a former classroom teacher, he's a union organizer, he's a businessman, and he's a nonprofit founder. He's running with the belief that any organization that treats its people well will see results, and he'd like to bring that type of experience that he's had in his business to Congress. Thank you so much.